Hello, we are the ERA team, and today we will be pitching our public health campaign for nutritional anemia. So, in the past 2 weeks, our team and a bunch of other interns have been given the amazing opportunity to learn about major diseases, including nutritional anemia, from some of the best doctors in the developing world. This public health campaign that we developed was created to serve as a guide, a tool, and a form of resource to help educate vulnerable demographics about the signs and symptoms of anemia, as well as any dietary factors. But before we delve into our plan, I would like you to first meet Fola. Fola is a young girl who was born in Nigeria to a very loving family. And when she was 13, she developed a pretty bad case of iron deficiency anemia from the lack of proper food and nutrition. She suffered a lot and was often dealing with bouts of fatigue, weakness, and even fainting. She was too weak to enjoy her father's birthday celebration and was known to faint often at school. And no one ever taught Fola or her family about what she had, and her parents always refused to bring her to the doctor's office. But now let's rewind the story. Let's say that when Fola was in elementary school, her teachers taught her and her classmates about nutritional anemia using many resources such as fun posters and activities. They taught her about proper nutrition and what types of food she should be eating to make sure she had enough iron in her diet. And there you go. By the time she turned 13, those bouts of fatigue, fainting, and weakness that she would have had never happened. She was able to celebrate birthdays and get through the school day without feeling tired or weak. But unfortunately, this is not the reality of most people in developing countries.
Hi, my name is Kati Bonzano. I live in Arlington, Virginia, and I'm a rising junior at Washington Liberty High School.
Hi, my name is Sophia Detweiler. I live in Seattle, Washington, and I'm a rising junior at the International Community School.
Hi, my name is Charlene Go. I live in Orlando, Florida, and I'm a rising junior at Bishop Moore Catholic High School.
Hi, my name is LaKayla Jackson. I'm a rising sophomore at STEM School of Chattanooga.
Hi, my name is Sarah Pollard. I'm from Potomac, Maryland, and I'm a rising senior at Bullis School. So going back to the problem of anemia, it is a worldwide issue. About 1.62 billion people are affected. Especially in Nigeria, it is a very prevalent issue. Around 60% of pregnant women are anemic, as well as 70% of young children. Anemia has very detrimental effects on the Nigerian population as well, and currently it is ranked the #1 health problem that causes disability in Nigeria. Now, despite all of these statistics, anemia is a 100% preventable illness, and that is what our campaign aims to achieve.
So for our solution to our problem, we chose to take a much more educational approach since education is one of the most controllable factors that contributes to nutritional anemia, as opposed to other factors, which include socioeconomic factors, which are beyond the scope of this campaign. We made 2 informational posters targeted towards the 2 most vulnerable demographics, including pregnant women and young children. So we made these posters with the potential language barrier in mind, which explains the heavy use of pictures, visuals, and colors to help get the information across. Through these posters, we hope to spark more conversations about anemia and spread awareness about the signs and symptoms of anemia.
So to implement our solution, we've already made both of our posters, as you just saw, and we'll hopefully soon receive funding. And then in the next few weeks, Leadership Initiative staff in Nigeria will print 2,500 copies of each of our posters and distribute the posters throughout Bauchi State in community areas where women and children tend to gather. So this includes schools, clinics, and hospitals, including the Nagari Medical Clinic and Maternity Ward, mosques and churches, markets, and social gatherings. We've also included additional information and tips in our toolkit for community leaders and health workers to use. And that information is designed to help them spread the information further throughout their communities and really just spread awareness. And hopefully that will happen soon too. And although it is difficult to assess our impact since it's an educational information-based campaign, we will check in with the Nagari Clinic staff in about a year to see if they've noticed any changes and to evaluate our effectiveness.
Our project has advantages that help deal with the problem of anemia in Nigeria. Our budget is low cost. Distribution and production of posters require very little funds for the amount of materials that are being produced. We are targeting very vulnerable demographics. Pregnant women and children have high anemia rates and are very heavily impacted. This project is very prevention focused. Anemia is very preventable, and with the right nutrition and education, the impact can be lowered and lives can be saved. We have a long-term solution. Education is a lifelong resource, and our project focuses on the spread of knowledge to help alert people of the signs and symptoms of anemia so they can seek help. Unfortunately, there are downfalls to our project. There is a lack of quantitative evaluation. It is impossible to measure how deep of an impact we had. Information learned through communication has no way of being definitively known. The solution requires lifestyle changes. It is difficult to implement any change that requires someone to change their day-to-day lives, especially when we are over here and they are over there. In Nigeria, there are very limited resources. Anemia preventable foods and supplements can be hard for people to get their hands on, especially in poverty-stricken areas. Low literacy rates pose as a challenge. We try to limit writing and words on our posters, but there are a few phrases that require people to be able to read and understand English to understand how our project will be shown throughout.
Okay, so we were giving $200, and with the $200, we made 2 posters, and with one of the $100, we'll be getting posters for the pregnancy, which is the one on the left, to put in churches, and the one on the right is going to be put in schools for children with anemia so they can learn how to prevent it. So we have come to the end of the presentation, and the main point of the presentation was to help educate more people to prevent anemia and to help them not become like Fola. Thank you for taking the time out to listen to us.
Thank you so much for listening to our presentation. We really appreciate it. And if you have any further questions, please feel free to reach out to any of us with our contact information on the slide. Thank you.
Wonderful job, everybody. Thank you very, very, very much. Okay, so we're going to stop sharing our screen, and I'm going to bring in our judges. Okay. Perfect. All right. Just wait for them to appear. Okay. Awesome. Okay, first we're going to have Dr. Garba. Dr. Garba is a doctor in Nigeria. She has helped save thousands of lives. She's helped run public health campaigns. And she has some thoughts for you. Dr. Garba, do you mind sharing them? I'm going to give her 1 second, everybody, just because she is calling from Nigeria and I know they have power issues. Dr. Aisha, you get there? Dr. Garba? Ah, looks like you're here now. Perfect. Switch networks, eh?
Yes, I'm sorry, there was a little bit of a glitch. Thank you guys for the wonderful presentation. The content of the presentation was amazing. It was straight to the point. I assess her eye contact and body language very much because it looked like you were reading from somewhere else, or your eyes were somewhere, like you weren't exactly talking to us. But and
Everyone, I appreciate your patience as she's trying to comment. I will edit this part of the video, so don't worry about that. So I'll just stop it and restart it once her connection gets fixed again. Okay, I think she just lost internet service. So like I said, I'll delete this whole part of the presentation so it doesn't look weird when we put it online for you.
sorry.
No, I can hear you now, doctor.
Okay, sorry. So I wasn't sure what part.
Oh, sadness, guys. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we are going to move on to the next judge. If she comes back on, I'm gonna have her, oh, Dr. Aisha, you there?
Yes, I.
So Dr. Aisha, do you wanna try hanging up and calling back in? That could fix it potentially. Okay, so we're gonna have Dr. Aisha do that. Okay, and then give me 1 second. I'm just setting that up for us. Okay, so we're waiting for Dr. Aisha to come through. We're gonna have Nancy Allen come in, who's the Executive Director for the National Consortium for Health Science Education. They literally create the leaders in health science education in all 50 states. Nancy specifically works with high schoolers to understand those next steps into creating medical health professionals and helps the state create leaders so we have more doctors, we have more people to save lives. Nancy, one, thank you for doing that. And do you mind just giving us your thoughts on their presentation?
Sure. Thank you to ERA, I think is the name of this team. I really liked your first slide. It was the red and all was very engaging. I like that. I appreciate you personalizing that with the story about FOLA. I thought that was good to engage your audience. As Marshall said, I work with high school students, and so I appreciated the fact that you introduced yourself. You told where you were in your high school career, whether it be a rising junior, senior, or whatever. And I appreciate you saying where you were from. I like knowing that. I would ask a couple of you to enunciate a little better because I don't know if it was the connection, but I didn't quite get where you were from. So you may want to work on that for future presentations, the enunciation. The problem when you mentioned, when you had the problem there and you had the information about the anemia for the women and children, I would suggest that you had embedded those two problems on the one slide, and this was really your focus. So each of those could have really been broken out into a slide of their own because they were the problem that you were addressing. I like the way you touched on the disadvantages and were very realistic about that. You did a great job. I could tell that you had worked together nicely as a team, and congratulations on getting this part of your experience behind you. Good job.
Thank you, Nancy. And then Dr. Garba. do you have some thoughts you'd like to share?
Yes. So I'm sorry once again for my network. Yes. So like Nancy said, they were really engaging. The presentation was excellent. I liked the dictation. Everything was fine, except Sophia with less eye contact, like she was reading from the laptop or somewhere, but it was okay. We could understand what you were saying. Katya, your background was dark. I couldn't really assess your body language, your facial expressions, and all of that. So I wasn't, at some point, I wasn't sure if you're the one actually talking. Maybe it's my eyes, but you know, the background is a little bit dark. But the most important thing was the PowerPoint presentation. It was amazing. You guys were engaging. The Fowler story, very nice. And in general, I think it was excellent. Good job. You guys really worked hard. Okay. Excellent. Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. My thoughts, guys, not all teams made it a personal story. You know, lots of students talk about how we need to help people and they put in numbers, and you guys took the time and cared enough to tie it all into an exact person. So instead of it just being numbers, it became a face. You also took the time to present yourselves. You also showed anyone who wants to have more questions that they can contact you anytime. You put yourselves out there for criticism, for people asking questions. You guys want to make this work, and that was shown throughout the entire presentation. I loved seeing that. I don't think we could have asked for more. And you guys even followed up saying when you wanted to follow up. I am definitely going to push for this to be funded. Just fantastic work, everybody. Thank you very, very much. Okay, I'm going to stop. Oh, admissions officers, the contact information for us about this program so you can see these students, understand more about these students. It's at the bottom of this YouTube video. Each student's website is there. If you click on their name, it will take you to their personal website and you can actually see them diagnosing a patient in the developing world. Any questions, our contact number is there and we will answer any questions about their participation in this program.